Good evening, Laker fans. It is January 28th, 2019, and it is a good day to be a Lakers fan. I didn't think I'd say that one day after yesterday, but I did. Anthony Davis, well, lots to discuss there. Welcome to my channel, the RES.Laker Girl. I am your hostess, Rachel A. Smith. So what's the word? It's 6:30 a.m. this morning. The lovely Anthony Davis, the unibrow fella, he said he's not going to wait till free agency this summer. He is not going to sign a contract extension. He wants a trade now. He wants a trade to a championship team. The word was that he didn't have the personality to demand such a trade. Absolutely. He seems a very quiet guy. I have read about him, and he doesn't really seem to be extremely vocal as far as press goes or complaining about the team or what have you. But this whole trade business began in the offseason. One thing I didn't know about Anthony Davis is that at the beginning in the postseason of in the offseason, I love to talk about the offseason moves. He hired Rich Paul as his representative, who happens to be LeBron James' agent as well. This isn't discussed that much, but it's kind of critical to the point as to why he is about to become a Laker. Today's official AD and Rich Paul's announcement, they demanded that trade from the New Orleans Pelicans for the sake of Anthony Davis's legacy. Now, Lakers really love a man chasing a ring, a boy looking after hardware. He is 25 years old. He currently averages 29 points, 13 boards, and 4 assists per game. He is out with a finger injury. He is due back Sunday with the Pelicans. What else is the critical information? Oh, by the way, season's trade deadline is February 7th. That is February 7th in about 2 weeks, about 10 days, for the Lakers and the Pelicans to pull it together. Where are they now? Well, the Pelicans, they have a 22-28 record. It is a terribly losing record. It's become pretty apparent that they're not going to do very well this season, and they need to make moves for draft picks. But they're not very happy about this. They've requested the NBA open a tampering investigation, which the NBA has opened a tampering investigation. The guys, several outlets have joked that it would be a self-tampering investigation, which is kind of strange. Alvin Gentry, head coach of the Pelicans, he's been that black older gentleman who's been doing the interviews, mostly the face of the Pelicans right now. Pelicans have asserted they will do this trade in their time as they like it, basically. And this is probably why I didn't hear a lot of rumors about Coach Luke Walton getting fired. Lakers were probably thinking about making big moves. LeBron was probably whispering to Ivica Zubac to play really, really hard because you might get moved. So basically, AD has an eye on the Celtics and the Lakers. And the Knicks are somewhat in contention. The Knicks are really a disaster. It would be a whole rebuild. It's not what AD is looking for. Mr. Davis is looking for a ring, a championship-bound team, and not the Knicks. So the Celtics, well, there is a designated rookie extension contract. You can only have one on your roster. They would have to basically trade Kyrie Irving, and then they can acquire Anthony Davis and the Pelicans in the 10 days or so between now and the trade deadline to be able to acquire it, which means only the Lakers are really available to Anthony Davis. So Vegas has us, the Lakers, winning this trade. We do have LeBron James. It's kind of nice to see that Anthony Davis wants to play with LeBron James. A lot of players are scared to play with LeBron James, just like they were scared to play with Kobe Bryant. People do fear success sometimes. I've done it. It's stupid, but come on, you get over it after a little while when you want a nice big ring. So what is Anthony Davis? Well, he's a true big. He moves the ball. He protects the rim, second chance points. He defends off the ball. It would be like adding the Joker or Jokic to our team. Very true big. Very, very true big. And he passes. Like I said, he gets those 4 assists per game. He's kind of like, how do I describe his play? He's kind of like a Kyle Kuzma, but much bigger and sturdier. And the matchups against him are a little sturdier as well, just based on his size. He can match up against. It's better to match up defensively against a smaller player. Kyle Kuzma's size doesn't lend to that, but if he continues to be a pure shooter, it won't really matter, especially with Anthony Davis playing beside him. So here comes the question. What will we have to release to acquire Anthony Davis? Most people say it would be a Kyle Kuzma, a Brandon Ingram, or Alonzo Ball. Ivica Zubac is almost a given. Who can we release? Well, I'm kind of glad I don't have to make the call because I don't want to lose anybody. I really want to hold on to Kyle Kuzma, of course. But I want AD. I really want this guy. I saw him play the season opener against the Rockets, and I actually picked them to do exceedingly well this season based on that game. Within a couple weeks, it was clear that only Anthony Davis really had the power to carry the team only so far. And knowing that, he's willing to come play with LeBron James and take his career even further. But like I said, I don't want to make that decision. That would be up to Magic and Rob Pelinka. Let's all remember 2008, one of the greatest trades, pre-season deadline trades done in the history of the game of NBA has been that trade where we acquired Pau Gasol. When I heard we acquired Pau Gasol, we looked good, we looked bad, we looked good, we looked bad. It was a tough season. Everything was in the air. We were really having trouble putting our team together, even though they were quite good. We happened to trade Kwame Brown and a handful of draft picks, if that, for one Pau Gasol. I still love him. I think I said what the peanuts because my children were, my youngest was only 3. But, 2 championships, one against the Celtics. I consider him Laker royalty. I consider Mitch Kupchak a GM genius for orchestrating this trade. It was basically one of the greatest sneak trades in NBA. I think Pop called it like a robbery or something, or, highway robbery. And I thought it was too because pretty much Pau Gasol came in, he jumped in the system, he was a smart guy, he was an active player, he gave us everything Kobe wanted, a lot of assists from his big, he got that. It just worked out really well. Can Rob and Magic do it? Well, it's Magic Johnson and Rob Pelinka. Not to mention we do now have LeBron James and, of course, Rich Paul in the mix to work things out. Do I think it was a mistake for the Pelicans to open a tampering trade with the NBA? Yes, because they've interfered with a trade before. The NBA hated the Lakers so much for this trade, getting Pau Gasol, this totally quiet, underrated player, just snuck in and just took us to the finals, boom, 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 3 times in a row. And they hated it so much that's why we didn't get Chris Paul. It's why Chris Paul was forced to go to the Clippers. And, it sort of worked out for a little bit. We all know how that ended this season, actually, in just a total disarray. So, so now the Pelicans have NBA oversight in this trade. It's going to be a little tougher on everyone to make this fair. It's going to be so by the book. It's crazy. Remember that Rose Rule, Celtics, that's what they call it, the Rose Rule, when you cannot have a designated rookie extension, more than one designated rookie extension contract on your roster. Yes, there are rules like that, and apparently the only real proper fit for Anthony Davis would be the Lakers championship-bound team. So, he does have a bad hand. He is expected to return Sunday. It's a finger. We shall see. Okay, so Lakers, where are we now? Where are we? Well, Lakers are the 26 and 24. We currently do have a winning record, of course, but it is dwindling. We are 9th in the Western Conference, 2 games behind those rivals across the hall, the Clippers. We are coming off a very decent 116, 1-2 win against the Phoenix Suns. Talk about getting it done. And God bless those Phoenix Suns. I really hope those draft picks show up for them because they are having a really ugly season. But thank you for the win. It was just the win our boys needed, a little confidence, getting in those rotations. It was a slower game, and, that's what we needed. And what do we have coming ahead? Well, tomorrow the Lakers host the 76ers in LA. Braun has already been ruled out for this game. They've got Joel Embiid, Jumbo Butler, Ben Simmons, JJ Redick, They have a 32-18 winning record. They are fourth in the Eastern Conference, and they look like they're playoff ready. Everybody's popping. They're actually, I think they've won their last 5 out of 7 games, so they're doing quite well. It's going to be a tough one for the Lakers. However, their offensive rating is 115. Lakers are 112 right now. A little push, and we might actually be able to make some waves, perhaps even get some of our players looking really good, considering we are all on the chopping block this week. So Lakers will play the Clippers on Thursday. That will be an away game, however, at the Staples Center. Braun is hoping to return Thursday night. This is obviously a playoff critical game, considering that the Clippers, are 8th in the Western Conference, and we are 9th. Of course, we are 2 games behind them, but hey, you got to start somewhere. They are 28-22 in the West and the 8th in the Western Conference. Yeah, there are direct rivals, and we should strike hard, and LeBron should come back to do that on Thursday night before we take off for that Grammy road trip. I don't even know if the Grammys are still in LA at the Staples Center, but Lakers will not have a home game in Los Angeles at the Staples Center until after the All-Star break on February 21st when we play the Rockets. Infamous Grammy road trip. It's one of the hardest road trips of the Lakers season. A lot of guys falter. A lot of guys step up and show their mettle during this road trip. I remember Phil Jackson used to buy the guys all books before this road trip. Some of them read them, some of them didn't. Okay, Lonzo Ball's still out probably a month. And he's probably one of our largest trade baits next to Kyle Kuzma. Of course, we want to keep Kyle, though. Basically, he's the last of the injured Mohicans. He'll be one of the last Lakers to return after LeBron, after this bout of injuries, after that bout of flu, after that bout of injuries, after that bout of fighting. We really need to keep this team on the court. All right, and Saturday, Lakers play the Warriors at Golden State. LeBron does not like to lose against the Warriors. I expect him to be back for this game, if not the Clippers, because like I said, he does not like to lose against the Warriors, even if he's on the bench. I do expect the Lakers to do exceedingly well this week, believe it or not. Like I said, Anthony Davis is one of those guys you just don't say no to, just like you don't say no to LeBron. Of course, LeBron is aging. Anthony Davis would be like the new big in the league. He's that center that everybody just really wants. And this is our shot. KCP is apparently MVP to be traded. Sorry, KCP, I will miss you. But I expect everyone to play really hard this week to either look good as trade bait or to really look good as not trade bait. Again, your best resume is your last great play, or your last great game. You know, you got to show your numbers. It's a little too late to up those career and season averages. But we know Ivica Zubac has looked amazing. I'm going to miss him too. I have a feeling he's probably the most valuable young thing we've got. That they're going to need another middle man. Julius Randle's hurt. Actually, I think 4 of their 5 starters, other than Anthony Davis, are all injured. Another reason why the Pelicans have not been able to succeed this season. But it should be a pretty wild week and a wild next 10 days until February 7th when that trade deadline hits to see if they can get this Anthony Davis trade done. I think they can. I think everybody has something to benefit. The Pelicans need to rebuild after this season. It's pretty clear as well. Anthony Davis doesn't want to be part of that, so they might as well pick up some draft picks and perhaps some other players to get rid of. Now, Anthony Davis right now being traded season deadline as opposed to waiting for free agency at the end of the season, not signing contract suspensions, just walking away from the Pelicans for a whole fresh new contract does make him a rental player. Basically, any team that picks him up is only picking up till the end of the season, and he can walk away at will unless they can basically convince him to stay. I like this term rental player. However, we know what it's like to have a rental player such as Howard. I'm still very bitter about that, but beyond the point is that the Lakers would be pulling him in to contain him. He would actually be wanting to stay. We'd actually have a lot of playoff berth possibilities with Anthony Davis and a super strong center. It's just so many possibilities. It's so exciting for everyone. And I think the Lakers can win it. Looks like Vegas has picked us to win it. Besides, no rental players Anthony Davis is a little different because I think he'd want to stay with LeBron. And that's, trade bait, as in getting us somebody to come in. It's going to be Anthony Davis. He's the player I would have preferred over any other player. I'm not really thinking Kawhi Leonard. I still don't want Kawhi Leonard, but what have you. He is actually considered a rental player for the Raptors. The Raptors continue to progress forward. They really have a good look at the championship this year, as long as they can stay healthy as well. But I think Kawhi Leonard still wants to leave. It's the Toronto Raptors. But anyway, so again, the Lakers should do well this year. Sorry, I get a little riff and raffing about ball towards the end there, but it's just so exciting. It's one of the most exciting trade deadlines the Lakers have had in a while since we've been rebuilding with all this young talent. It's a shame to develop and trade him away, but come on, it's Anthony Davis with LeBron James. Talk about a 1-2. Lakers love that punch. We're going to want a third. A very solid point guard. All right, so it's just going to be fun over the next 10 days. Good luck, Lakers. It's going to be a wild, tough week for you. It's going to be just insane mentally and physically. We got a lot of tough games ahead of us. And good night, Laker fans. Hang in there. It's going to be exciting and in a good way. All right, good night.